Good morning, everyone. We are from the Macao Polytechnic Institute. I'm Shirley, and this is my partner Coco, Grace, and Calvin. Today, we will analyze the current condition of FinVolution company and try to put forward some strategies for it to enter the global market. FinVolution was formerly known as Pai. It provides an online platform to link borrowers with financial institutions, and it targets at creating an inclusive finance. Its main business can be divided into fintech service and fintech empowerment. The former one provides loans to consumers, while the latter provides services such as risk rating support to financial institutions. It was founded in China in 2007 and served as a P2P company first, and it was listed on the New York Exchange in 2017. Because of changes in government regulation, it stopped the P2P business and provided only B2B and B2C business. By the end of March 2020, its services have covered more than 108 million users and 97% of Chinese cities. Its great success is based on many factors, including its extensive knowledge and experience in the financial industry, its advanced technology such as the artificial intelligence, and its complete management system. However, its management model also faces some criticisms. For example, it may cause privacy issues and cannot be directly adopted to a new market whose information about customers is not yet available. So far, it has decided to expand its business into Southeast Asia to get access to larger customer base, as many governments in the Asia-Pacific regions are promoting cashless transactions, but it also faces many challenges. For example, foreign customers may not trust online banking service, and in some places, the penetration rate of mobile phones may be very low, and the default risk of consumers may be very high. FinVolution adopts various technologies in different stages of its management model. First, it uses Magic Mirror to assess risks of borrowers based on their personal information, credit history, repayment history, and so on. Next, it uses Macao bridge system to optimize capital allocation by matching the borrower's features with the lender's requirements. After borrowing, Bright Mirror is adopted to serve as a real-time monitoring system based on massive database, and a smart inquiry prediction system is also used. And this is the details of these models, and we can see that the system is mainly divided into 4 steps and adopt the 4 technologies mentioned above. So after looking at details of this management model, we try to solve some emerging problems when the company enters the foreign market. That is, how should it adapt to changing regulations and cultural differences in other parts of the world? And how should it adjust or improve its business model when enter the global market? Next, let my partner Coco and Grace introduce our strategies to you.
Thank you, Shirley. The cultural adaptation strategy is divided into 2 parts. The first is the market research, and the second is the promotion of FinVolution Group. It is a Chinese company that has successfully operated in the Chinese market. So when it comes to the Southeast Asian market, some difficulties and cultural differences may exist. FinVolution can conduct market research based on 4 aspects: regulation differences, user behavior, acceptance towards the company, and credit history supporting income documents, and so on. For the first aspect, regulation policy, it can be classified in more details into 3: government support, cybersecurity and data privacy, and multinational enterprise regulations. For the government support, it aims to see whether the government supports cashless transactions, and the aim of doing such things is to increase the card ownership. Take Singapore as an example. In the Southeast Asia market, we found that the fintech market in Singapore is already mature. Operations include fund transfer, cryptocurrency trading, money lending services, and so on. Regarding to the regulation for cybersecurity and data privacy, the aim is to prevent actions such as fraud from happening. It is also necessary to check that whether that country has the national credit record system. For the Southeast Asian market, it already has some cybersecurity startups. For instance, the right-hand, keyless, and Synchronize. Since Finvolution is a Chinese market that are trying to enter the foreign market, then understanding the regulations on related problems should be necessary. For example, the Southeast Asia market has cross-border privacy issues. To have a better understanding of user behavior, there are 3 aspects the company can take into consideration. The first is people's tendency to a stable credit, which means that an individual tends to save money or take loans. We found that more than 1/3 of the Southeast Asian consumers are willing to shift their banking activities to non-bank digital players. The second is the acceptance of mobile payments, which we found that the acceptance is low, since many merchants do not accept mobile payments as a way to settle the payment. And the last aspect is individuals' income, which may differ by regions. For the acceptance of a Chinese company, Finvolution may find it difficult to enter a foreign market because of the lack of trust. As a fintech market, a company, it is also essential for Finvolution to protect users' information. The last aspect, credit history of an individual, can be largely used in data mining, which will be introduced in the next part. It is also critical for a fintech company to have relevant data. The second part of the cultural adaptation is to promote Finvolution in the Southeast Asia market. The promotion is divided into 2 main ways. The first is to increase the smartphone penetration rate, and the second is to increase the acceptance of Pai. In order to increase the smartphone penetration rate, the company has 2 methods. It can directly enter a market that has relatively high penetration rate. For example, Singapore is an excellent choice since the smartphone penetration rate is as high as 81% in 2019, or it can penetrate its culture into that market. There are 5 ways to achieve this goal. First, it can organize courses to the people in that country. The teaching content can include the usage of Pai or financial knowledge that can raise the awareness of the public. Second, the usage of billboard advertising can attract users by. Third, by working collaboratively with Google or other search engine to achieve search engine optimization can help gain exposure to the company. People can find Finvolution when they search related information on Google. Fourth, Finvolution can use some sorts of sales promotions, such as offering attractive interest rate to its users. Last but not least, Finvolution can cooperate with local banks to gain users' trust while expanding its business. Another way of promotion is to increase the acceptance of Finvolution. One way to achieve this goal is to make use of the social media. They can write a post about successful cases that previously worked in the Chinese market. For example, Mr. Li relieved economic pressure by using Pai. Another way is to promote the company's culture. Who are we, what we can offer, and how can we benefit our customers? By understanding these questions of the company, the acceptance should be increased. Next, let's invite Grace to introduce technology adjustment.
Okay, thank you, Coco. Next, I will introduce the technology adjustments that Finvolution needs to make in order to enter the Southeast Asian market. Based on the company's use of fintech in Chinese market, the Southeast Asian market can also carry out the following fintech to develop the market, create risk assessment, fraud detection, big data, artificial intelligence, and provide an online platform linking underserved individual borrowers with financial institute. After entering Southeast Asian market, 3 methods should be adopted. Cooperate with the banks of Southeast Asian countries, meaning local user data, and modify existing systems and rules. Firstly, Finvolution can get the local citizens detailed information based on the local bank's credit reporting system or other similar information systems. However, due to the limitation of the Pareto principle and the development of local information, such information is far from enough to support the powerful technology financial system of Finvolution. Therefore, it's necessary to carry out deep data mining on local residents in Southeast Asian countries to obtain more information about more users. In order for the fintech system to better assess the local user situation, data mining should be carried out from the following aspects: reverse personal information, existing liability, credit history, historical repayment, and third-party data. Okay, we can see that there are 11 points to develop data mining. Firstly, we can translate business opportunity into data mining opportunity, and then we can select appropriate data, get to know the data, and create a model site. Then we can fix problems with the data. About select appropriate data and fixing data with data may involve privacy issues. So the process of the data mining must follow the local rules and don't against the law. Make sure that the collected person already knows the data collection and give them compensation if necessary. Of course, the authentication of information must be guaranteed. And then we can transform data to bring information to the surface, build models, assess models, and deploy models. The three parts involve the development of models, such as regression, decision tree, neural network, and memory-based reasonings. Model analysis can be used for chain analysis, fraud detection, and risk analysis to further improve the feasibility of fintech. And then we can assess results and begin them again. Then we can look at there are many data mining tasks. Firstly, we can have classification, which means we must identify high or low repayment capacity, and the estimation is also necessary. It means we can estimate household income and affinity grouping, whether people in the same situation have the same ability to repay. Prediction is also necessary, which means we can create card balance, transfer average amount, and then clustering can help us segment data and description and profiling, which means behavior budgets explanation. Then next, we will modify existing fintech systems to accommodate foreign markets based on the result of data mining in Southeast Asian countries. Different countries can draw up different judgment criteria for AI to learn and judge. According to new criteria, we can improve Magic Mirror, Magpie Bridge System, Print Mirror, and Smart Customer Service. So we can see that if we want to use Magic Mirror system, we must combine local banks information and data mining results. Then we can take into account the privacy protection provision of local laws. It means we do not collect information beyond the law, inform the person being collected, and provide information collection subsidy when necessary. Then we can gather additional information by encouraging customers to automatically compute the information. The more they compute the information, the higher the lower success rate. Finally, we must calculate the risk score, which from never 1 to never 8, according to the financial condition of Southeast Asian countries. We recommend that the evolution readjust score above never 5 in order to avoid a large number of later payments or loan payments on loans. Then my part will introduce the next part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Here comes to the modification of the Magpie bridge system. As you can see from our drawings, the Magpie bridge system is used for matching and connecting borrowers and the funding institutions. Based on the data mining for our customers, the cooperation with local companies, we will have sufficient data for the system to do the analysis and match them up. For example, it may, according to the previous cases and the credit records, to do the matching under the local relevant policies. The Right Mirror is an anti-fraud system and real-time monitoring platform. I would like to divide the modification into two parts. The first one is for the regulator. Of course, we need to follow the local relevant regulatory policies to do the modification. for the monitoring process. On the customer side, it is the customer's right to know the system, and we need to get consent from our customers for the data collection. And if necessary, we may pay compensation to our customers for data collection. The last system we need to modify is the smart customer services. We shall improve the customer services quality, like using the local language and make the system understand the local tone and tempo and other cultural things we need to concern about in dealing with our customers. These are all based on data mining and the market research we did before. The interface of the customer services also need to be changed. We believe that make it with cultural elements from that country is a good idea. And finally, it is the conclusion part, and we draw two pie charts to show the expenses and the revenue. It is mentioned in the article that the company has spent most of the investment to design its system. And actually, there are not many amendments to be done for this. And now the most important things we need to invest are the market research and data mining. So we would like to spend 30% of the total investment for these two parts, and for the system modification, cooperation, and promotion. For the company's revenue, 80% of it is the operating revenue, which including loan fees, post-server fees, and other revenue. We may also get some profit by authorizing the system of our applications to other companies.
Next, we look at how the company plans to implement our different strategies. It will start all its strategies in 2020, and its market research and system modification only lasts for 1 year, so as to gain better understanding of the marketplace and make some adjustments to its management model to adapt to different culture. Its data mining strategy lasts for 2 years to find more details of the foreigner behaviors and perceptions. And its promotion and cooperation with local banks will last for a longer time to build up trust and confidence with foreign consumers and financial institutions. And after carrying out all the strategies, we estimate that the company is able to get 80% of available information over the next 2 years, and it can let 70% of the local people and financial institutions become aware of this brand. In addition, we estimate that its revenue will increase by 20% annually compared with the year before.
Okay, the last part is the estimation of the net profit in the project for 5 years. In the initial stage, we may have no net profit as we need to invest a lot, and there is just a small market share for our company. We assume that in 2020, it comes to the critical point, which means we would get some net revenue after cooperation, promotion, and a better understanding of our companies. After that, our customer may have more positive image for the company because their experiences of the reliable platform, and we shall win a big market share in the maturity stage. And thank you for your listening.
Thank you.
The student, thank you for the presentation. It is now time for the Q&A session. Let's hear the first question.
All right, thank you, team. I'll start. So data mining was referred to in a couple of slides. Just to clarify a bit, where is the data coming from? What's the source of it? You've mentioned this is in 2020 to 2021. So where are these data coming from?
Okay, thank you for your question. We can see that the as when we have mentioned before, Fivolution's fintech system are built on decades of financial experience and strong computer learning. But when we enter the new market to Southeast Asia, it's clear that the rules of judgment previously drawn from the decades of experience in China do not apply to this new market with the different environment and culture. So we are investing a lot of money in data mining to create different criteria that are appropriate for different countries. We get data from the not only from the market research, but from the process of data mining. For example, we select the appropriate data, and we may use big data to get data through the internet, and even we can give some compensation to the collected some people's personal information. This must be based on accurate and detailed local personal information. Therefore, we use the means of data mining to obtain deep and accurate data collection and analyze, and to test the data mining to obtain to receive the detailed derived judgment criteria. So in this stage, we can use test data set, train data set, and even evaluation data set to conduct model research and validation. Only when the results of data mining are combined with the bank's existing customer information can the fintech system run normally in the Southeast Asian market. So we get data not only from the local bank information system, but also from the market research, and even get the information from individual. So if necessary, we will give them compensation if they think is necessary. So because we must keep the accuracy of the data. Thank you.
So just a follow-on question. So from what you say, the data source that you're looking at would be from market research, internet, and if you can have a partnership with a local bank, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think the info? I mean, if how long do you think it would take for you to set up a partnership with a local bank?
Do you mean
as in how onerous is it to set up a partnership agreement with a local bank for them to disclose the information to you? And if it's taking very long, my follow-on question would be, would the market research and internet data be trustworthy for you, enough for you to build your own credit engine model?
Yeah. As we mentioned, is one of our strategies. We must to cooperate with the local banks. In our express, we will spend about 10% to cooperate with the local bank. For example, we can use the bridge system to be the media between the local bank and the borrowers, because the local banks may be more focused on the top 20% customers, so they will avoid the other customers, and we think we can use the new protect system to help the other borrowers. So we think if we want to cooperate with the local banks, we will spend a lot of money on the cooperation and build the relationship between them. Just as a cooperation companies, and we want to use the reputation of the local banks to let the local customer trust us, and because they may more trust the local banks. So we can spend a lot of money to get the data from the local banks, and the other data can come from the data mining and the market research. Thank you.
Maybe I have something to complement. As we can see from this picture, that we compared with other strategies, the cooperation with local company or local banks and the promotion lasts for a longer period of time, because we think this is a continuous process. because as a financial company, when we enter a new market, it's very important for us to gain the trust and confidence of local institutions and people. So we want to constantly put a certain proportion of our budgets to do these activities, so as we can gain more accurate and transparent information. Yes.
My question would be, yeah, so I think you mentioned that in the initial, you have to invest a lot in the beginning before actually profitability come in place. So how can you, ensure that the project is still on track? And then how do you continue to gain the confidence on, the investment will be making a profit? And my second question would be like, what's the uniqueness about your proposal if others like similar company give similar idea? So how can you differentiate yourself from the others?
Okay, thank you for your question. I'll introduce this to you. In the initial stage, you can see there's a big investment in the initial stage, which including the market research and data mining and so on. And of course, it spent a lot of money, and we have a certain plan to do the market research. And as you can see from the article, the foreign market is not so maturity, and maybe the smartphone penetration is not so high. And actually, we believe that it won't be too much competitors in the market for our company. And if we do well in the cultural part, in the promotion part, and actually the system of our company is a completed system, and it won't be too much problem within this part. And if we can do those amendments well, and the profit will we will have the net profits. And in the maturity stage, after our customers use our platform, and it is very successful in China, and the system must working very well, and they may getting more trust in this system and rely on it. And this is what we believe.
And according to the Pareto principle, we believe the local bank perform to go after the top 20% of customer and ignore the lower needs of small and medium enterprise of individual. At this point, fintech system can well position to fill the gap, especially the Southeast Asian market, where credit is not widely available. So we believe that this is a large market which has not been explored. And according to the successful experience in China, we believe if we put the new fintech system to the Southeast Asian market, it can get more profit from the small or medium individual or enterprise, which cannot make loans from the local banks. Thank you.
And we are thinking that maybe, as you can see from the implementation timeline, in that PPT, you can see that the system modification is only implemented at the beginning of the stage. So we are thinking about maybe we can cycle this 4-year period in the long term of our operation. So maybe we can modify our system at every beginning of the 4 years. So we can make our data accurately and collect data more in timely. Thank you.
So you've mentioned fraud risk as well. Given that the targeted customers are not the top 20, under your expenses, do you foresee any losses? And if there are you bearing the loss, or is the local bank bearing the loss? So if you go to the expense chart, the profit and expense.
Profit and expense, that PPT.
Yeah, the chart, correct. So you've got promotion expenses, data mining expenses. What about fraud losses and provisional
Yes,
losses?
we have expect this default risk in this PPT because although we mentioned that the data because many people in some less developed countries maybe seek funds or seek financial services to finance for their living, but we think that maybe some of them didn't have the ability to pay off their debt. So we have expect that we may suffer because of their default risk. But I think because risk and opportunity is both exists. So if we want to grasp the huge opportunity, we need to bear some risk. Yes, I think it's worth.
And furtherly, I think we have mentioned about that the target area is the South Asia, and we checked the data, and we found that there are some countries which has a very high smartphone penetration, and the people inside this country, they have a high demand for using the credit card, and this is the opportunity to deceive the risks, and we plan to enter those countries first, and these are all suitable for our project, like Singapore.
And you can see from these pictures that after borrowing, we might use the bright mirror system because it is a continuous monitoring system for consumers. So we will closely monitor their behaviors so as to avoid some problems such as moral hazards and so on, and to let them participate in some immoral activities that make them less likely to pay off their debt and so on.
So are you suggesting to not enter into Indonesia, which is only 18% credit card, and go into Singapore first as a conclusion, or are you saying that we should still go with Indonesia first and then expand to the rest?
I mean, we'll choose those countries which has a high demand to lend and to borrow, and also inside the whole country, the smartphone penetration is very high, and the relevant institutions has a detailed regulatory. And for this country, we will choose them to enter first, and maybe collect more experiences, and further plan to go other countries.
Right. So I have a similar question, right? Because your company has explored Southeast Asia, and the first attempt was to enter into Indonesia, and they've got the first international license, right? So I just want to understand a little bit more as to your expansion plan in terms of, which countries you're expecting to go into first, because in your presentation, you mentioned numerous times about Singapore. So is that the first country that you want to enter in instead of Indonesia? And in the Singapore, what is the competitive landscape? That's the first question I have. Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Sorry. So thank you all. The judges will now stay in the room to deliberate. So team will place you back to the waiting room for a few minutes, 8 minutes time, and bring you back in for the feedback session. Thank you.